What is up, guys? So today I'm going to be doing a YouTube video about how to edit photos. I know it's been a minute since I've done this, but we're going to go ahead and do it again. So let's get right into it. I don't like wasting time, so let me move this down a little bit. Boom. All right, so today's program I'm going to be editing inside of Lightroom. It's what I use to edit all of my photos. And let's go ahead and get started. So first off, we're going to go ahead and start off with the lighting. I like to always drop my highlights to begin with, just to see what details that I have in the photo. We're going to drop the highlights a little, actually almost all the way. I almost always drop my highlights all the way, to be honest. Shadows, I like to raise those up quite a bit, get those details back in the wheels. You see right here, see how much of a difference that makes. All right, cool. Because you raise your shadows every now and then, you will lose your details in your blacks. Your blacks won't look true black anymore. So what I do is I just drop my blacks down a little bit. You can see I kind of add like a little bit of contrast, makes the photo really pop in the blacks versus the whites and the highlights. Really contrast a little bit more. And speaking of contrast, I do contrast next. So we're gonna go ahead and drag that up a little bit. I like contrast in my photos. The preference style. If you don't like it, don't do it. And then next we're gonna go ahead and do the curve. So curve is where you can really make some dramatic changes to your photos. Like if you want to go for that film look, what you could do is drag that up and drag this a little bit. You see I kind of start to add a little bit more haze, and that just kind of helps give you that film look without shooting on a film camera, because film cameras are pretty expensive sometimes. So we're going to raise right here. So this section right here, what I am doing is raising the highlights of the photo, or the whites. That's what that does. And over here, adjusts the blacks and the shadows. So I'm not going to go for like a crazy dramatic effect. We'll do it right about there. Next, we're going to go ahead and do the coloring of the photo. So I'm going to adjust the vibrance and the saturation of the photo. I usually bump the saturation a little bit. Wow, that is way too much. It looks like, you know, Forza when you're editing and you don't know what you're doing, the color wise, and you just bump it up all the way. That's what it looks like. Don't like that. So we're going to just go right about there. Saturation, or vibrance, sorry. Vibrance just makes the color pop a little bit more. Obviously that is way too much, so we'll go right about there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the color mixer. Color mixer is cool because you can literally just edit all of the colors inside of the photo that you want. That's why it's called color mixer, right? Get what I'm saying? All right, so next we're gonna go ahead and bump the red up just a tad bit. A cool trick too, that if you don't know what color something specifically is, if you hover over this little crosshair circle looking kind of thing, if you click it and hover over the colors, it will actually show you what colors that is. So that is reds and browns. So if I were to change the color, that'd be a cool color if it was that red, but it's not, so we're gonna go back. Okay, so we're gonna bump the reds up a little bit. Oranges, is there any oranges in the photo? Oh, there is. So if you look kind of, oops, get rid of that. So if you look in the clouds and you look at the curve a little bit, that's what it is, a little bit. That's where the oranges are kind of falling. Yellows, are there any yellows in the photo? There is. Okay, so the grass is orange in the photo. I think I want this to be a little bit darker. Luminance, what that does is it literally just, picture it as like lighting. Do you want it darker or brighter? That's what luminance does. I'm gonna make them a little bit darker. Greens, we're gonna slide that right about there. And I think that's about it for the color mixer. Point color, that is a brand new feature that they added into Lightroom. I haven't messed with it at all. I haven't used it, so I'm gonna skip that part completely. All right, next is the effects panel. Texture is just that. It adds texture into the photo. You can take away. It's kind of like the smooth versus how sharp you want the, not sharp, but like how texturized you want your photo. Obviously, you can see right here if I drag it all the way up, that looks horrible. That does not look good. But for this photo, I think it's a little too sharp, to be honest. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag the texture down a little bit and then up the clarity a tad. That looks pretty good. I like the way that's looking. We're gonna pause, rewind it, bring it back a little bit because I forgot about the white balance. I don't know how I skipped that. So right there, just make it a little bit more orange. That's the style that I like. You can do whatever you want with that. All right, next we're gonna get into masking. Masking is really cool because you can kind of individually edit different parts of the photo. So like if I wanted to do the sky, I could do that. Oh, this isn't a paid version, by the way. If you have the free, you can't do this. I don't think you could do this, but we're gonna do this. Look, select the sky, and boom, it masks the sky pretty dang good. Like that's really good. Okay, so drop that down a little bit. I feel like it's taken away from my subject of my photo. Speaking of subject, I want it to pop a little bit more. So instead of adding clarity to the entire photo, I like to add it individually through masks, just because I like the separation between the foreground and the background of the photo. And we're just gonna lighten that up a smidge, the shadows a smidge right there. And to give you that effect where your eye is being drawn into the photo, we're gonna go ahead and add a linear mask from the bottom and hit the minus button, subject. And then what that's gonna do is it's gonna subtract everything. It's gonna subtract the subject completely from the masking. So if I go like, if I click and drag this, you can see the subject is pretty dang good masked out of that. So everything I do will not affect that. So what we're gonna do is just drop the shadow, drop the exposure a little bit, give that dramatic effect of being, the dramatic effect of drawing your eyes to the photo. And there you go, that is the finished product. That looks really good. And just to kind of give you like a before and after, before, after, before, after. All right, next we're gonna jump into editing the rest of the photos in this set. I'm not gonna be too much tweaking besides maybe my exposure. So if you wanna see that, let's jump right into it. What you're gonna do is to quickly edit the rest of your photos, click edit options, go to choose settings to copy. It's important to choose settings to copy because if you do not, if you just do Command C or Control C, whatever it is, it will not copy the masking, which is super annoying. So you gotta make sure to go to choose settings to copy and do that. Okay, so next, we're gonna go into this photo, Command Beam, replace. I like the way this looked, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna bump up the subject a little bit just because it is looking a little dark. And what I'm also gonna do is do a radial gradient, put it over the wheel, bring that up a little bit just because it's a little dark. That looks really good. Again, like I said, the rest of the photos I'm not doing a whole lot. Boom. Add another mask, radial over the wheel. Bring that up. Do you guys just see that? So every now and then when you are editing photos, the sliders will say it's doing something else, but it's not. So if you just run over them super quick, it'll reset all of them to 0. I don't know why it does that. Also, the Shelby emblem, I know it's upside down. I will fix that in Photoshop. But for the sake of the video, we're going to keep it simple. If you are interested in Photoshop stuff, let me know. I can do a whole different video about Photoshop editing. Again, Command Z, paste it, replace. And boom, that looks so good, except it's a little dark, so we're going to bring it up a little bit. Not too much because I like the dark look, so I think that looks pretty good. All right, next photo. Boom. Bada bing. Again, a little dark. All right, so now I might have changed my camera settings just a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is again, go to choose settings to copy, masking. And it's important to do that again, because like I said, if you do not do that, if you just go to copy settings or Command C, it will not copy your masking settings. So it's important to do choose editing settings and then click masking, whatever details you want. It's important to do that. Okay, again, Command C or double click or right click, and we'll paste settings. All right, whatever, can't find it. Command V. I use a Mac, so I don't know where that is. Okay, boom, that looks so good. Okay, next. Again, Command Z, replace. All right, and a neat feature too, if you really want to speed up the whole editing process, select all the photos you want edited, Command B, replace. Let it do its thing, it's pasting. This is a beautiful thing about Adobe Lightroom. It'll do this, and look at that. It's updating all the AI settings for you. AI meaning the masking, so like the subject of, selecting the subject and masking out the subject, which is great because it saves me so much time when it comes to editing photos. But remember, don't just paste your settings onto all the photos and call it a done day. You want to individually go through all the photos just to make sure that it worked. Because every now and then, I mean, look at this. Okay, I'll give you a prime example. So I just pasted it to all the photos, but this one right here, extremely dark. So what I'm gonna do is bump it up. Look at that, that is so good. That red is popping like absolutely crazy. That looks so good. All right, next. That looks amazing. And this right here, it's not haze or grain in the photo. It was actually raining that day, so, whoa. It was raining that day, what the heck? Go back to it. It was raining that day, so that's why it looks like that. It's not grain, it's not blurry or anything. All right. That looks good. That looks good. Ooh. I'm not going to use this one, but I will use this one because I like the way that one looks right off the bat. Babe, where you at? What a clever license plate. Alright, and now we're going to crop it. Just hit C to go into the cropping. And make sure that is center. One thing that drives me absolutely insane is when photos are not... When the car is not straight in the photo, or it's not perfectly centered, unless it's supposed to be like offset or something, if it's not perfectly centered, it drives me absolutely insane. It's the simplest thing to do, just put it in center. Okay, that looks good. All right, for this one, see, prime example of pasting it and it didn't just work flawlessly. I'm gonna go ahead and drag down the exposure a little bit, add some warmth to the photo. That looks good. That looks good. I really like the way that looks. Again, just gonna repeat myself. Copying these settings, make sure to go to select settings and copy the masking, otherwise it will not do it. Command Z, paste it, replace. Command C, replace. We're gonna hit C, or if you want, go to right here for that cropping tool. We're gonna adjust it in just a little bit. Make sure this is straight. The auto feature right here works pretty dang good too. If you just want to hit that, make sure that is perfectly centered. That is amazing. Again, this one, C, crop it. Hit that auto if you want. Ooh, good. This looks good. So these little things right here, like watermarks, they're a little distracting for me. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take them out of the photo. So either hit H or go over here to this little icon, masking. Oh, sorry, one above it, healing. All right, so now what we're gonna do is just adjust my circle size a little bit, go over it, and boom, take it out. Check it out, it's gone. I mean, it doesn't get that much simpler than that. There's no reason to have like really distracting stuff in your photos. If you can easily take it out, take it out. And then we're gonna drag the slider down on the exposure, get a little bit of those details back. Before, after. Really like these photos of him walking to his car. These were actually completely candid and not planned. I saw him walk into the car, like, oh, that's a good idea, let's snag these photos. So these photos came out hard. Again, look at this distracting watermark right here. And if you notice between this one and this one, look at the ground. Green, purple, purple orangish. I like the purple orangish look instead of the green. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and slide it to make it a little bit more warmer. And then we'll drag the tint slider, add a little bit of purple to it so I neutralize it. Because the opposite of green is blue and purple. It just neutralizes each other in the tint. So that's how you correct that color. And again, we're gonna go ahead and edit out this water blob right there. Go back a photo, edit that water blob out. Perfect. Edit this one out. Edit that one out. This one is way overexposed. We're gonna drag that down a little bit. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. I really like the way that one looks. That one too. Ooh, that one's good. Remember again, I pasted all of my settings already to these. I don't have a preset. They're not for sale. I literally showed you how to do it in this video. So if you want a preset, just copy that. Straighten that out. And if you do use it, tag me on Instagram and I will reshare to my story. always show love to other photographers and videographers. So if you use this, let me know. Follow me on Instagram, same username @withitmedia. It'll also be linked in the description. Cool, that's good. And that's all of them. Boom, and there you go. If you want me to show you how to do anything or how to edit inside of Photoshop next, or how to remove things in Photoshop, or how to add birds, water, whatever it is, let me know. If you liked my edit and you use it, make sure to tag me on Instagram. I'll share it to my story. And yeah, let me know what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.